your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Let's meet the teams. We'll begin with our guests from Trinity Prep. And we'll start with their reserves, number 20, Sophia Carr, number 9, Mia Parker, and number 2, Laney Wildman. And the starting lineup for the Saints. Batting first, the leadoff hitter is center fielder number 11, Monroe Butte. Second in the lineup and in the pitcher's circle to start today's game, number 16, McKenna Hawley. Third in the lineup for the Saints, and behind the plate at the bottom of each inning, number 3, Kayla Alexander. The cleanup hitter for the Saints is shortstop, number 8, Alessandra Garganez. In the 5-hole for Trinity Prep, third baseman, number 1, Abby Thompson. Batting 6 for the Saints is first baseman, number 17, Amanda Lang. Seventh in the lineup for the Saints is second baseman, number 6, Naomi Tanalian. Batting 8th for Trinity Prep, right fielder, number 5, Dakota Brown. And finally, in the 9-hole for the Saints, left fielder, number 12, Noor Asfour. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting with their reserves, number 2, Kayana Davis. Number 13, Mackenzie Eckhart. Number 18, Karina Ramos. And number 25, Lily Jones. The starting lineup for the Mustangs, the leadoff hitter, and in the pitcher's circle to start today's game, number 1, Lexi Wetz. Second in the lineup for the Mustangs is center fielder, number 11, Cheyenne Merrick. Third in the lineup for the Mustangs is shortstop, number 22, Alicia Perez. Fourth in the lineup, the cleanup hitter behind the plate at the top of each inning, number 12, Alyssa Griffin. Fifth in the lineup for the Mustangs is third baseman, number 21, Louise Concepcion. Batting 6 for the Mustangs is second baseman, number 23, Martrice Boyd. Seventh in the lineup for the Mustangs, first baseman, number 3, Avery Scullen. In the 8-hole is left fielder, number 19, Emily Castillo. And in the 9-hole, right fielder, number 7, Abriana Bryson. The flex hitter for the Mustangs is number 24, Cassandra Mark. And the Mustangs are coached by Naisha Griffin and Taylor McGowan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please stand as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mustang Field. We are live streaming today's game, so if you have friends and family who are not able to join us in person, you can send them to either YouTube or the NFHS network. We are simulcasting on both of those services. Again, YouTube, the channel name is Wekiva Sports. Or, if you're a member of NFHS Network, you can search for either Wekiva or Trinity Prep there. And at 6 o'clock, when baseball starts, we are going to attempt for the first time ever to split screen and broadcast both games at once. So we'll look forward to that. Wish us luck. But we are live streaming today on YouTube and the NFHS Network. We hope that your friends and family, whether they are elsewhere in Orlando or Apopka or anywhere in the world, will be able to tune in and join us this afternoon. To those of you who are already doing so, welcome to our YouTube channel or the NFHS Network. We hope you'll subscribe while you're here. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs and Sports Information Director here at Wekiva High School, and I will be taking you through this afternoon's game. And in about an hour, we'll be adding in the baseball game. We are working on getting those cameras set up right now. As we enter the top of the first inning, the leadoff hitter for Trinity Prep once again, center fielder number 11, Monroe Butte. Play is made at shortstop by Alicia Perez. One away for the Saints. Next in the lineup for Trinity Prep, pitcher number 16, McKenna Hawley. Hawley singles into left field. Next at the plate, catcher number 3, Kayla Alexander. Play is made at third, 2 away. Play is made at third base by Concepcion, and that takes us to the middle of the first inning. No runs scored on one hit with no Mustang errors, leaving none on base, and the score remains 0-0 at the end of half an inning. Lexi Witz, leadoff hitter for the Mustangs, singles to first. Next in the lineup for Wekiva, center fielder number 11, Merrick. Merrick walks to first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, shortstop number 22, Elisha Perez. Next to the plate for the Mustangs, catcher number 12, Alyssa Griffin. Hawley records the strikeout to put 2 away for the Mustangs. Next to the plate for Wekiva, third baseman number 21, Luis Concepcion. Another swinging strikeout for Hawley, and that will take us to the end of the first inning. In that half inning, no runs scored on 1 hit, with no Saints errors, leaving 2 on base. And the score remains 0-0 at the end of 1 inning. As we enter the top of the second inning, the Saints will begin in the fifth position of their lineup with third baseman number 1, Abby Thompson. Woods records the strikeout, looking one away for the Saints. Next at the plate for Trinity Prep, first baseman, number 17, Amanda Lang. Thanks for your patience, folks. We're working on the camera behind the backstop. We know this is not the best angle to be watching pitches from. All right, when in doubt, turn it off and turn it back on again. Meanwhile, Woods records her second strikeout of the half inning. Next in the lineup for Trinity Prep, first baseman, number 17, Amanda Lang. Lang walks to first. Next in the lineup for the Saints, second baseman, number 6, Naomi Tanelian. Next in the lineup for the Saints, right fielder number 5, Dakota Brown. Witz records the strikeout, and that will leave 2 on base and take us to the middle of the second inning. Patrice Boyd walks to first to open up the bottom of the second inning. Next in the lineup, number 3, Scowen. Hawley records a strikeout to put one away for the Mustangs. Next to the plate for Wekiva, left fielder number 19, Castillo. Hawley records a strikeout, 2 away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, right fielder number 7, Bryson. Three strikeouts for Hawley, and that will take us straight to the end of the second inning. No runs on no hits with no errors. One left on base, and the score remains 0-0 at the end of 2. Holly walks to first. That puts runners at 1 and 2. As we go to the third position in the lineup with catcher number 3, Kayla Alexandra. And thanks for your patience, folks. We know the graphics are not updating in quite a timely manner. That's because I'm trying to do everything at once with the scoreboard and the camera selection and setting up the broadcast. And at this point, it's kind of like changing the tire while the vehicle's in motion. So thanks for being patient with me. So we get a wild pitch there that's going to advance 2 runners. We'll pause here for an officials conference. Based on the ruling on the field, it looks like we will score a run for the Saints. Alexandra picks up an RBI, but is out at first. Next to the plate, shortstop number 8, Alessandra Garganes. She's going to put the ball in play right away, and it goes directly to shortstop, center fielder. Merrick picks that out up for the Mustangs. And that will take us to the middle of the third inning with 1 run scored by the Saints on that RBI from Alexandra. The Mustangs begin the bottom of the third inning at the top of their lineup with pitcher number 1, Lexi Witz. Witz walks to first. Next in the lineup for the Mustangs, center fielder, number 11, Merrick. The out is made at first on the bunt. That advances Witz to second base, though. Next in the lineup for the Mustangs, shortstop number 22, Elisha Perez. Perez also decides to go for the bunt, and this time she's successful and does not get tagged out. Elisha Perez is safe at first on the single bunt and then safe at second on the throw. That also advances Witz to third base. Runners at 2 and 3 now. And next in the lineup for the Mustangs, catcher number 12, Alyssa Griffin. And we'll pause for a timeout. Meanwhile, we are about to get baseball underway. If someone would like to send lineup cards to the announcer stand, we will get those loaded. Witz comes home on the throw as Griffin is thrown out at first. 2 away for the Mustangs. Wekiva on the board. Perez at third, and next to the plate, Concepcion. Concepcion picks up an RBI. And the Mustangs, Perez comes home. Next to the plate for Wekiva, second baseman, number 23, Matrice Boyd. As we enter the top of the third inning, the Saints will begin in the fifth position of their lineup with third baseman number 1, Abby Thompson. play is made to Scohen at first. One away for the Saints. Next at the plate for Trinity Prep, first baseman number 17, Amanda Lang. Lang advances to first. Next at the plate will be second baseman number 6, Naomi Tennellian. Tennellian doubles to center field. That also picks up an RBI for Trinity Prep. Next to the plate will be right fielder number 5, Dakota Brown. And we are trying to get the baseball cameras online, having a little bit of technical difficulties with them. As soon as we get those online, we'll put on the Evans game as well. Brown walks to first. Next to the plate, left fielder number 12, Noor Asfour.
Nope, let me try a different slot.
As for safe at first, runners will be now at 1 and 3 as Trinity Prep returns to the top of the lineup with center fielder number 11, Monroe Butte. All right, we have cameras working now. I just need to get a score report from the baseball game so that we can update you on where they actually stand. So that scoreboard you see at the bottom of your screen is for softball. Baseball, we can put a scoreboard up as soon as we know what to put on it. Let's see. Oh, wait. Hold on. As we enter the bottom of the fourth inning, the Mustangs will begin in the 7th position of their lineup with first baseman number 3, Scoen.
I'll check settings on that camera. I'm pretty sure it's set to 1080i, just like everything else, though. Yeah, let me check. I'll be right back.
Again, thanks for your patience. We know this is not quite as slick of a production as we normally put on with our basketball and football and even lacrosse games. But we are learning this as we go. This is the first time we've ever tried to double live stream a baseball and a softball game, and we're getting the hang of it. I have not been able to get anybody to send me a score sheet or a lineup card for the baseball game, and so I can't tell you where they are right now, but we did get their video feed working at least. And we had a fan go down on that foul ball. Seems okay, though. Scowen walks to first. Next to the plate for the Mustangs, right fielder, number 7, Abriana Bryson. Excuse me, this is Castillo. Bryson now at the plate for the Mustangs. Hawley records the strikeout, 2 away for Wekiva. The Mustangs now return to the top of the card with pitcher number 1, Lexi Witz. Play is overthrown at home, and Witz is going to get some extra bases if she can get to third in time, and she does. Lexi Witz gets the RBI double and then gets an extra base on the error. Mustangs add to their score. Again, thanks for your patience. We are trying to get a second camera angle working for baseball, but haven't had any success with that yet. And I have dispatched someone to go wrestle someone to the ground to get me a score update, so I can tell you where the Trojans and Mustangs are at this point. Meanwhile, we get to a full count over here on the softball field. And that's going to be a hit. Woods comes home on the RBI from Merrick. Merrick safe at first. Next at the plate, shortstop number 22, Elisha Perez. Next to the plate for the Mustangs on the softball side, third baseman number 21, Luis Concepcion. Holly records the swinging strikeout, and that takes us to the end of a productive 4-run inning for the Mustangs, and the score stands 6-2 at the end of 4. And on the baseball side, that takes us to the end of the first inning. Trojans lead the Mustangs 4-0 at the end of 1. The Saints begin the 5th inning in the second position of their lineup with pitcher number 16, McKenna Hawley. And she starts with a ball. I have just been provided with Evan's lineup card, so we should be able to start populating that information as well, depending on how many directions my eyeballs can go at once. Santiago is safe at second. Now at the plate for Trinity Prep, catcher number 3, Kayla Alexander. And for the Trojans, Miller at the plate. All right, I think we are finally situated with all of our cameras in place, at least all the ones we're going to get tonight, and our scoreboards. It's going high, and it does drop. Alexandra drops it into center field and scores a run for Trinity Prep. Garganis now at the plate for Trinity Prep. Foul ball on the softball side. We'll keep things 1 and 2. Another foul away. Ball 2 over on the softball side. Wilkerson records the strikeout on the baseball side, and that takes us to the middle of the second inning. Garganis walks to first. Next up for Trinity Prep, third baseman number 1, Abby Thompson. Foul ball, strike one. Called strike. Puts two on the board for Thompson. It's a high throw and not able to pull it down is Scohen. Thompson beats the throw to first. Runners at 1 and 2 now. Next at the plate, first baseman number 17, Amanda Lang. And the Mustangs will begin the bottom of the second inning in the fifth position of the lineup with shortstop number 12, Ross. The hit falls. Ross is safe at first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, third baseman number 23, Simon. Meanwhile at softball, Witz records the strikeout, 2 away for the Saints. Next at the plate will be second baseman number 6, Naomi Tenelian. Tenelian brings a runner home and puts runners at 1 and 3 for right fielder number 5, Dakota Brown. Witz picks up her first strike on Brown. Witz battles back to a full count on the softball field. Brown walks to first. And that will load up the bases for the Saints. Next at the plate is left fielder, number 12, Noor Asfour. Play is made from Concepcion to Castillo. To Griffin. Nope, it is ruled a foul ball. Play is made from Perez to Scohen, and that will take us to the middle of the fifth inning. Trinity Prep picking up 2 runs in that half inning to close the Mustang lead to 2. And I apologize, I had the wrong number of runs in the previous inning. It is 6-4, not 5-4. I broke my formula on my spreadsheet. There we go. Yeah, normally at the middle of the fifth inning, we do take me out to the ball game. It's kind of tricky to do, though, when they don't both hit a half inning at the same time. So we may have to save that for the baseball game, who will presumably not hit the middle of the fifth until after the softball game is over. So stay tuned for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but you may have to wait a little bit for it. As we enter the bottom of the fifth inning, the Mustangs will begin at the 6th position of their lineup with second baseman number 23, Matrice Boyd. Meanwhile, at the plate for Evans, number 13, Rojas. Has a chance of dropping, and it does. Perez drops a line drive into center field. She's safe at second. Excuse me, that was Boyd. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, first baseman, number 3, Scohen. Scohen starts with the ball. 2 away for the Trojans. Next to the plate for Evans, left fielder number 18, Wynn. It's going up to 3 balls now. Swing and a miss for Wynn. And a little pop-up. Scowen trying to get clever there, and it falls foul for a strike. That takes us to the middle of the second inning on the baseball field. Score remains unchanged, 4-0 Evans. Yes, middle of the third is what I meant to say. Castillo is thrown out at first. 2 away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate, right fielder, number 7, Aubriana Bryson. As we enter the bottom of the third inning, the Mustangs will begin in the 9th position of their lineup with second baseman number 21, Vasquez. Meanwhile, that takes us to the end of the 5th inning on the softball side. No runs scored in that half inning, and the Mustangs holding on to a 2-run lead, 6-4 at the end of 5. The Saints begin the 6th inning at the top of their lineup with center fielder number 11, Monroe Butte. Goodwin now at the plate for the Mustangs on the baseball side. And Butte is safe at first. Next at the plate for the Saints on the softball side, pitcher number 16, McKenna Hawley. Vasquez scores for the Mustangs. Brought in by Goodwin. And I know you can't see this because the camera is too tight, but there was an error at first. And Mustangs turn on the afterburners. Goodwin safe at third for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, catcher number 2, McCoy. Meanwhile, over on the softball side, Witz has gotten it back to a full count. Witz records the strikeout looking. One away for the Saints. Next at the plate for Trinity Prep, catcher number 3, Kayla Alexandra. Goodwin scores for the Mustangs. Foul ball keeps the count at 1-2 on the softball side. Now at the plate for the Mustangs on the baseball side, left fielder number 15, Zapata. Goes right to third base, and not a great throw there. That'll be an error for the Mustangs. Alexandra is safe at second. Butte advances to third. Runners at 2 and 3 now, and next at the plate for Trinity Prep, shortstop number 8, Alessandra Garganes. Monroe Butte beats the throw to the plate. That'll put a run on the board for the Saints. Cuts the Mustang lead to 1. Runners at 1 and 3 now, and next at the plate for the Saints will be third baseman number 1, Abby Thompson. Play is made at first for the Trojans by Rojas. 2 away for the Mustangs. Next to the plate for Wekiva, first baseman number 10, Rosado. Rosado picks up a strike looking on the baseball side. And a short bunt. Play made. Witz on the throw to Boyd to put 2 away on the bunt. The sacrifice will put runners at 2 and 3 now, and next in the lineup for the Saints be number 17, Lang. Should also point out this is the first ever night game for Wekiva. These lights on the field are brand new. And that is going to fall fair. I know you can't see that because we don't have the other camera working for baseball. We are going to try to get that fixed later tonight, but the ball does drop fair. Number 12. Ross. Singles for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, third baseman number 23, Simon. Lexi Witz records a swinging strikeout, and that takes us to the middle of the 6th inning. Saints adding 1 to their total and bringing them to within 1 run of the Mustangs. 6-5 is your score at the end of 5.5. Hey, Arnulfo, it's nice to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Never thought we'd see the day we'd have lights on the field and we'd be playing 2 night games at the same time, and that is exactly what we're doing. Simon drops it fair. Simon picks up the RBI single for the Mustangs as Ross comes home. Meanwhile, on the softball field, the Mustangs will begin the bottom of the 6th inning in the first position of their lineup with pitcher number 1, Lexi Witz. Lexi Witz walks to first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, center fielder, number 11, Merrick. Merrick picks up 2 strikes right away. Hawley records a swinging strikeout to put 1 away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, shortstop number 22, Elisha Perez.
Oh, it was that? Okay.
Witz beats the throw to first. And a passed ball gives Witz an opportunity to go to 3. That's going to go foul. Another foul. Mimas now at the plate for Evans. Carmona on the pitcher's mound on the baseball field. That one's going to go fair. See if Trinity Prep can reel it in time. No, they cannot. Perez with a single infield grounder, and she will score Lexi Witz. Next at the plate for Wekiva, catcher number 12, Alyssa Griffin. Two high balls in a row. Santiago is retired, and that takes us to the middle of the fourth inning. Still a 4-4 tie game on the baseball side. Play is made at shortstop by Alessandra Garganes. 2 away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, third baseman number 21, Luis Concepcion. Concepcion tries for the bunt, but it goes foul. Perez safe at second. Hawley records the strikeout, and that takes us to the end of the 6th inning. The Mustangs adding 1 to their total in that half inning. And they lead by 2, 7 runs to 5 at the end of 6. Now at the plate for the Mustangs on the baseball side, number 11, Moya. Rosado still pitching for the Trojans. And Lexi Witz again goes into the pitcher circle, so assuming she makes it through the next 3 outs, that'll be a complete game. Of course, Wekiva being ahead as the home team, all they need to do is get 3 outs before the Saints get 2 runs, and that will end the game. And at that point, we will make the baseball game bigger on your screen. And we'll see if we can switch around and see if we can find some combination of at least 2 cameras and 2 cables so we can give you a little bit bigger picture of the field when the ball gets put in play. It is one of the challenges of live streaming baseball and softball is it's just really hard to get a good camera angle. We need to mount one about 50 feet above the concession stand and we'd be in good shape. That one goes straight to third base and a perfect play. The throw is made from Concepcion to Scoen. One away for the Saints. Next at the plate, coming up for Trinity Prep, number 2, Laney Wildman. And the throw is too high to first. That'll be a Mustang error. Did the tag make it? They are going to call her safe. Wildman safe at second base. Next at the plate for Trinity Prep, left fielder number 12, Noor Asfor. And we'll start with a foul ball. Meanwhile, Vasquez attempts a bunt on the baseball side. That goes foul. High ball for Witz. And an outside ball. Play is made from Concepcion to Scoen, 2 away for the Saints. That does advance the runner to third, though. And next up, Trinity Prep will return to the top of the lineup with center fielder number 11, Monroe Butte. The play is made at first, and that will take us to the end of the ball game. 7-5, the final score for softball. Of course, the celebration a little subdued. There's no post-game handshake, but a friendly wave of good game. So we are going to go ahead and make baseball full screen now. Foul ball for Goodwin. Runners at 1 and 2. Another foul. Keeps the count with 2 strikes up. That one's going foul as well. Landing dangerously close to my car, which is parked behind the maintenance shed. RBI for Goodwin. Next to the plate, McCoy, number 2. Stolen base puts runners at 2 and 3. And a swinging strike at the plate. That one's going into the softball field. Brings up a 2-2 count. Another foul keeps the 2-2 count. Another foul. The ball drops, and the Mustangs will score 2. McCoy safe at second. McCoy comes home for the Mustangs. At the plate for Wekiva right now, number 15, Zapata. Yeah. Foul puts up 2 strikes for Zapata. Okay, so I think we've got the score corrected now, 7-4. I got conflicting reports, since we had to take our eye off of the baseball game for a moment while the softball game was getting finished, so hopefully we are all square now. Zapata walks to first. Next to the plate for the Mustangs, number 10, Rosado. So we have Rosado versus Rosado. And a wild pitch.
That was a brand new cable too. Like no joke, I literally just opened it, so I'm gonna. There's no chance it was this, right? Maybe a reboot would have done it, or. It's weird. That might work, but I don't know. Archie's overwhelmed right now. I don't think he'll do that.
And the passed ball will not only walk Rosado, but also get an extra base in the books for Zapata. Zapata safe at third. Rosado walks to first. Next to the plate for the Mustangs, number 12, Ross. Ross cuts at that one, and it goes foul. Brings up a 1-1 count. The cavalry is called off as the ball is called foul. And a swinging strike will retire Ross. Rosado records the swinging strikeout. One away for the Mustangs. Next to the plate for Wekiva, third baseman number 23, Simon. And a pass ball with an opportunity if he can get there, and he does. Zapata slides home on the pass ball. 2 balls for Simon. It's amazing how dramatically easier this gets when we're only calling one game at a time. Again, tonight's games were supposed to be the second game of the year for baseball, at least at home, but earlier this week we had too much water on the field from that deluge we got over the weekend. Of course, it stands to figure that we would go probably 6 weeks with no appreciable rainfall and then get drowned as that one goes into the softball field. We actually only had one of those while the game was in progress, which was pretty good for playing 2 games 40 feet apart from each other. 2-2 the count at the plate, 1 away for the Mustangs. And let me update that bases graphic. It is a runner on second, not third, since we had the passed ball come home. Simon walks to first. Next to the plate for the Mustangs, right fielder number 14, Jones. Called strike, brings up a 2-1 count. And a high ball. Jones wants none of that. Making it 3-1. Opportunity to load up the bases here with a walk or a single. Not quite that easily. Called strike brings up the full count. And the wild pitch would have guaranteed a walk anyway. But meanwhile, it'll also get an extra base for Simon. Jones walks to first. Runners at 1 and 3 now. Or excuse me, loaded, bases loaded for the Mustangs now. Next at the plate will be designated hitter number 11, Moya. But first, a timeout for the Tigers. Now pitching for the Trojans, number 3, Marshall. Once again, now batting for the Mustangs, number 11, Moya. Bases loaded. Mustangs with an opportunity to do some real damage here. Moya swings at the first and does not make contact for strike 1. Second swinging strike in a row. Marshall records the strikeout, and that will take us to the end of the 4th inning. In that half inning, the Mustangs added 4 to their total. That gives them an 8-4 lead as we head into the 5th. As we enter the top of the 5th inning, McCoy now at bat for the Trojans. Strike that Miller at bat for the Trojans.
Heads up.
Wilkerson still on the pitcher's mound. It's some number of balls and 2 strikes. That'll make contact. Miller singles with a line drive. He's safe at first. Next at the plate for the Trojans, pitcher. No, excuse me. Yes, pitcher number 10, Rosado. That one's fouled away down the first base line for strike 2. And a high ball brings us to a 1-2 count. Rosado battling back on the count, pulling it up to a full. I promise we are updating the count. There it goes. Sometimes the Google Sheets API service is a little behind. Rosado battles back from an 0-2 count to walk to first. That puts runners at 1 and 2, and next at the plate for the Trojans, catcher number 15, Moisey. So now the next thing I need to do Wilkerson records a strikeout, 1 away. Next at the plate, number 5, Joseph. And a wild pitch will get at least one extra base for each of the runners, and they will be stopped there. Three balls now for Joseph. And Joseph picks up his first strike. And his second. So Wilkerson battles back to a full count. Makes contact. And beats the throw to first. And the runner comes home. Joseph with an RBI. Picks up one base for himself, sends one home. Runners at 1 and 3 now. Next at the plate, number 13, Rojas. And he fouls away the first one. And Wilkerson tried to get the play at third. It backfires. And now we'll pause for a Mustang timeout. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you here in the ballpark, we want to remind you that tonight's game, actually both of tonight's games, are being live streamed on YouTube as well as the NFHS network. If you have friends and family who are not able to join us in person tonight, you can let them know to search for Wekiva Sports on YouTube or search for either Wekiva or Evans on the NFHS network. For those of you who are doing just that, welcome. We're glad you're here. This is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, joining you tonight from Mustang Field, the first ever night game here at Wekiva. Brand new lights on the field. Wilkerson records the strikeout swinging. That puts two away for the Trojans. Next at the plate for Evans, number 18, Wynn. 3 consecutive strikes for Wilkerson will take us to the end of the middle of the 5th inning. Two runs scored by the Trojans in that half inning, and that makes it an 8-6 ball game. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the middle of the 5th inning, and so, of course, that means it's time for the 5th inning stretch, the first of the 2021 season. Stand up, stretch your legs, and join us now. Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the Mustangs. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. As we enter the bottom of the 5th inning, up first for the Mustangs will be number 21, Vasquez. Marshall continues to be the pitcher of record for the Trojans. We start with the ball. In fact, we start with 2 of them. Vasquez picks up his first called strike. And fouls it away for a second. High and outside. Vasquez wanted nothing to do with that, and it brings up a full count. He's running it out as if it's fair, and it is fair. Opportunity to get to second, and he does slide in and beat the throw. Vasquez picks up the double line drive into right field. And now the Mustangs will return to the top of the lineup card with center fielder number 1, Goodwin. Goodwin, it looks like, is safe at second, and the RBI scored as Vasquez comes home. Now at the plate for the Mustangs, catcher number 2, McCoy. He picks up ball 1 as Goodwin steals third. Swinging strike brings up a 2-1 count. That one's in the dirt. Makes it 3-1. Gets a piece of that one. Got a runner coming home. It's fair. One runner scores. Can he get to second before he's thrown out? No. McCoy picks up the RBI as Goodwin comes home, but is thrown out as he tries to get an extra base at second. So that'll be 2 away for the, 1 away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, left fielder number 15, Zapata. And we'll start with ball 1. That one's in the dirt. Brings up a 2-0 count. Catches the inside of the mid-strike zone for a 2-1. That one's going fair, and he has some room. Zapata rounding first. Plenty of time to get to second. Trying to get to third. Does he beat the throw? Yes. Zapata slides into third to make it a triple line drive into left field.
take that. I was just kind of sponging right now, watching you do everything. But if you need help, let me know. Okay. I feel bad you doing it.
Now at the plate for the Mustangs, first baseman number 10, Rosado. And he picks up a foul there to pull up a 1-1 count. Called strike brings up a 1-2 count. This one's going high. Good effort by the Trojan catcher, Moisey. Can't quite chase it down, though. So the count stays 1-2. Again, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for joining us tonight for opening night. We appreciate you tuning in as we pick up a ball there to bring up a 2-2 count for Rosado. Bottom of the fifth here. We had a good win for the Mustang softball team. If you missed it, you can, of course, rewind it on on-demand replay. Well, that's going to go way out west. Count stays 2-2. Mustang softball team picked up the W against Trinity Prep. Put that up at the bottom of your screen briefly. 7-5 win there. Pitch is high and inside. That'll bring up ball three. We have a full count. Oh, and Rosado has to duck out of the way of that one. It would have been a walk anyway. But meanwhile, we have an opportunity to have a runner come home. Zapata scores for the Mustangs on the wild pitch. Meanwhile, Rosado walks to first. Now at the plate for Wekiva, shortstop number 12, Ross. And we'll start with a low ball. Third pitch is in the dirt, an opportunity to get an extra base. And Rosado does just that. That'll put a runner on two. High ball brings up a 3-1 count. And Ross will walk to first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, third baseman, number 23, Simon. And it looks like Marshall may have been called for a balk there because we had runners advance. So, excuse me, now Ross at second, Rosado at third, and another ball at the plate. And a foul down the third base line. That'll bring up a 2-2 count. Excuse me, a 2-1 count. Mustangs leading by 5. They've had an excellent couple of half innings here. Mustangs had no score in the first or second inning, but then have had 4, 4, and 3 runs in each of the last 3 innings. As they pick up a 3-1 count here. Opportunity to load up the bases. If Simon can either draw the walk or get a single. And that is wide outside. Simon wanted none of that. Simon walks to first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, right fielder, number 14, Jones. And we'll start with another ball. That one's in the dirt well outside. Brings up a 2-0 count. Just a bit outside, a little closer, but still not close enough. And, of course, a walk here will automatically score for the Mustangs. That's a called strike, although it's hard to blame Jones for not taking that one because it has to be perfect when you're looking at a 3-0 count. Swinging strike will allow Marshall to battle back to a full count. And now Marshall's having to take some pitches he'd rather not take, but he's able to foul that one away and stay alive. In the dirt, and well, that would have automatically been a run scored no matter what, but makes things a little more exciting. Rosado scores on the walk. Bases remain loaded. Next to the plate for the Mustangs, designated hitter number 11, Moya. And since everything is settled down now and we have working cameras and the broadcast production is in a good steady state, I want to welcome to the broadcast our broadcast production teacher, Keith Dickerson, who is usually the voice you don't hear. He is the man behind the scenes directing and coordinating the student camera workers, sometimes jumping in and running a camera himself. But now he's on the headset with me. Welcome to the broadcast, Mr. Dickerson.
Thanks, Barchi. Yeah, usually face for radio. That's what the kids tell me. So, thanks for having me on here.
This one was straighter, but still far too low. It's a passed ball, and it scores another run for the Mustangs.
Got a charity going on, it looks like, the last couple of runs.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen in past years, we've seen this happen to Wekiva as well. We've seen both home and visiting schools this kind of thing happen to, where you get to the fifth inning and you run out of gas and you don't have the bullpen. And so the pitching gets a little crazy, and there isn't a lot you can do about it as a coach because you don't have the bullpen to send in any more relievers. And
yeah, based on that first inning, I was expecting this to kind of be a blowout for us. I was like, oh, crap, not a good way to start the night. We were 4-0 against Evans earlier. But
yeah, well, and, of course, this is Wekiva's first home game, so they're probably still feeling out the turf here. New coach Scudero, taking the reins this year. And so it seems that the Mustangs took a little minute to settle down and to settle in, but since then they've been able to handle the Trojans.
You got their ball, too?
That sounds right. Yeah, the first one was in the dirt. That scored the run. And then that one was high, so we should be at a 2-0 count now.
Yeah, no, and always a pleasure. You've always got me and my kids running around. I know you only do 15 things at once, so tonight you're doing 14 because we're doing cameras. So I don't know if that's any easier.
Yeah, I occasionally run out of arms. So, yes, you must have been right. That must have been 2-0 because now it's 3-0 and he hasn't walked yet. So, yeah, it's, I certainly sometimes have to grow a third or a fourth arm, but I'm happy to do it. Last night at lacrosse, I was simultaneously the clock operator, the camera operator, the broadcast producer, the announcer, the DJ. I think I valet parked a couple of cars at some point.
Delivered some dry cleaning,
Moya picks up his first strike there. I'm not really sure why that was a pitch he needed to swing at.
Yeah, we'll definitely miss your talents tomorrow. Ooh.
That's in the dirt, and it's going to be safe at home. Again, it would have been a walk no matter what, but Simon comes home on the wild pitch. Sixth run of the inning for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, second baseman, number 21, Vasquez.
I'm learning tonight I definitely need to get some glasses because we're kind of up in a crow's nest right now. So usually we're right there on the court.
Yeah, I think you put the score down by 1 run instead of up. We need to be at 14.
Whoop. They'd appreciate that.
Well, contrary to popular belief, it is actually not possible to lose a game because the scoreboard operator touched the wrong button. Now, you wouldn't know that if you saw some of the fans that have run across the court in the gym to yell at me when I push the wrong button at basketball games. But believe it or not, you actually can't lose a game that way. Somebody is keeping the official score on paper, somebody who is only paying attention to that and not doing 6 other things. So I believe that takes us to a 2-0 count, bottom of the 5th. Marshall pitching against Vasquez. Mustangs leading 14-6.
And this is a bit different than my my usual knowledge of NASCAR and stuff. If we get up to 10, is that the mercy rule? I understand.
Correct. So yeah, if Wekiva scores 2 more runs, since we're in the bottom of the 5th inning, that would be a walk-off at that point. So yeah, 2 more runs in the 5th inning would invoke what is popularly called the mercy rule, and that would end the game immediately. So it's a good thing we got the 5th inning stretch in when we did, because we may not have a 6th inning. High ball, and that will walk that will excuse me, that will walk the batsman. Let me talk real pretty. The Mustangs now return to the top of the lineup with center fielder number 1, Goodwin.
I will share with you, just kind of advertise, our girls they're not heading quite to Alabama, but Navarre, I believe.
Yeah, you might as well. That's Florida-Bama. That is almost to Pensacola. It's about a 6.5-hour drive. They're going to leave at 8:30 tomorrow morning, and they won't be back until probably 5 a.m. the next morning.
I heard on the way in the full team will be there. If I don't know how much I'm allowed to say out loud.
Yeah, no, I talked to Coach Biaggi, and yes, the disqualification of Madeline Touzé was overturned on review by the FHSAA office. And so, yes, Wekiva will be at full strength.
Definitely good to give, I guess, both girls, not like on both teams, after a little scuffle, an opportunity. It's a stressful year, of course. So.
Yeah, and I mean, when you went back and looked at the replay, I mean, it was an unfortunate event. It was a heated moment. It only lasted for about 2 seconds, and then tensions immediately cooled. Wekiva's administration, as well as the coaches and officials, did exactly it was textbook exactly how to respond to a situation like that. The double foul was appropriate. It was just that the 2 girls got tangled up in each other. It wasn't intentional. They just went down after they got kind of snarled in each other's elbows. Jones comes home on the passed ball. 7th run of the inning for the Mustangs. That was, of course, a ball at the plate.
What do you got there, 1 and 2?
I've got 3 and 1.
Oh, let's go with that. I'm learning the mannerisms tonight for the umpires. I've never quite paid attention when I see it on TV enough. So.
Yeah, it depends on the umpire, but any reasonably loud grunt counts as a strike or an out. So yeah, a loud grunt. So yeah, it must have been 3 and 1 because he walks there.
It looks like that's going to be 9 they've given us this inning.
Yeah, well, you can tell. Unfortunately, Marshall has just run out of gas with his arm, and there's nobody to relieve him. And unless we have a substitution, this should be McCoy.
Let's go there.
Yes, it is. It is McCoy indeed. But did we have a runner come home on that walk?
I didn't catch.
I don't think we did, but we did. Well, now we do. Single by McCoy will bring home a runner for the Mustangs, and in fact will bring home 2 on the Tiger error.
They were reporting no errors by Evans earlier, but it might be off a little bit there. That might be their first.
Yeah, that was at least 1. Oh, and to your point, that is enough. That takes us to a 10-run differential, and that means it takes us to the end of the ball game.
Yeah, change that to 9. It should be 17.
Oh, okay. I heard you say 2, so.
That takes us to the end of the ball game, 17-6, the final score here on opening night for the Mustangs. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out to support your Mustang and Trojan athletes. Thanks also to those of you who joined us on YouTube or the NFHS Network. We hope to bring you many more of these. We'll be back tomorrow night in action as the Mustangs host Umatilla. That game starts at 7 p.m. We hope you'll join us for that as well. For those of you here in the ballpark, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you who tuned in online, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel before you go and click that notification bell so that you'll get an alert anytime we are live. If you're on the NFHS Network, make sure you follow us there. And speaking of following us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Wekiva Sports, and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. Good night from Mustang Field.